I hopefully just secured a research project. And if you want to do that too, here are some tips. Hi, my name is William Chang. I'm a first-year medical student here at Indiana University School of Medicine. I just got out of the hospital and I'm dressed up a little bit because I just finished discussing some of my research opportunities with a physician. So first of all, these tips I'm going to give, it's all personal experience. This is everything I've been going through. It applies to high school, it applies to graduate school, it applies to college. And again, these tips work for me. It doesn't work for everyone, and this is just my point of view and my perspective. The first thing I would do if you're trying to secure a research experience or a research mentor, I guess, is to just reach out to as many people as you can. I managed to find my research physician. I literally just went on the IU faculty website, and then I kind of picked and chose what specialties I was interested in. Right now I really like GI, which is gastroenterology. It's all your stomach stuff and your colon. So I reached out to a couple of people. I reached out to like 3 or 4 physicians just to kind of get a scope of things and see how people respond and if they do respond. Because a lot of times you send out an email, it gets lost in the sauce and then it's just gone and they just forget about it. But first I would say to go on the faculty website of your college, of your graduate school, wherever you're going. Find your field of interest, whatever you're interested in, and then among those faculty members, what I would do is kind of look at their previous papers and look at what their field is, what their interest is in, and if that aligns with what you want to do, it doesn't have to be like something you already thought of preemptively, but something that interests you. Just shoot them an email. I basically just emailed like 3 or 4 people and I said that I'm a first-year student, I am interested in research. I kind of just list out 1 or 2 things that they're currently working on, and I'll let them know that that is something that I'm interested in. And then when you're emailing them, you just straight up just say, I am looking for a research opportunity, and that's it. That's literally it. I would end the email by asking like, when's a good time to meet up? When's a good time to discuss some of these things? Gives them a call to action. It shows them that you're taking initiative and you really do want to be in their lab or in their field or whatever they're doing, in their work per se. Just put your name out there and just like kind of get that foot in the doorstep. Sometimes they won't respond, sometimes they will. I had a physician that I emailed and I emailed him and he responded, but he said that he had no current publications or any projects he's working on at this time, which is fine. That's just, it's not ideal for you, but that's why we wrote 3 or 4 emails, right? This year I've had one who said he had no projects lined up at the moment. In college, I've had a couple where I emailed them as a freshman. They were like, we're only looking for upperclassmen at this moment. Sometimes there's a criteria, but you won't know that until you email them. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would do, if they do respond and get to that stage, is to follow up. A lot of times, especially if it is a professor or a physician who is very, very busy, they don't have time to read through your email and have a very like thought out response to say to you. Sometimes they respond with like, sure. And like, it doesn't really mean anything. If you ask like, I would like to do research with you, what time would you like to meet up? And they say, sure. Like a lot of times they will express that they want to do things with you and they want to discuss things with you, but they get caught up in their own job. So for example, I met with Dr. Douglas Rex. He's a GI physician here at IU and he is very, very busy. So if I give you a timeline, I emailed him on a Tuesday. I emailed him on a Tuesday. It was like last Tuesday or something like that. And he responded to me on a Friday saying, sure, let me look over some things and I'll get back to you. This past Tuesday, so this is like a week now since I've sent my first email. His assistant emailed me while CCing Dr. Rex, talking about when's a good time to come in to discuss, and I responded Tuesday afternoon that I can come in on Friday. Her email before was talking about how like Dr. Rex is usually in the endoscopy suite the 1st, 3rd, and 5th Monday, Tuesday, and Friday mornings. So just reading that email, I could tell that Dr. Rex is very, very busy. He has a lot on his plate. Like he's doing procedures while doing research. One thing I realized is that you need to follow up and you need to take initiative. You really need to take initiative. I think that's the main thing. A lot of doctors and a lot of professors, they don't expect much from a, I guess, first-year medical student. They don't expect much from a undergraduate student. So you really have to be confident. You really have to take the initiative. Before this morning, I was really debating because I didn't get an email response on what time Friday morning, what time today I was supposed to go in. I was really deciding. I was 50-50. I talked to a lot of my friends on what kind of impression I would give if I just showed up and asked to see Dr. Rex and see if he was free. It might come off as aggressive. It might rub him the wrong way because I'm just showing up unannounced, unscheduled. And on the other hand, like if you do show up, it shows that you're passionate enough to show up in front of them, talk things in person. Even if he is busy at that time, you can try to schedule time in person and try to get a result out of that. So I went in today. I was 50-50, but I decided to go in. I'm very, very glad that I did. I went in and he was actually in the middle of a colonoscopy. Found his assistant. She walked me in and I just basically sat there for 2 hours and then we started talking about research projects and things he had in mind. I realized that 2 things. I realized that these people are very, very busy. And since I have a lot more free time than him, better for me to kind of weasel my way into his schedule than him accommodating to mine. He said that he meant to email me back, but he just got too caught up in a lot of things. He already had my name written down just from the preliminary email that I sent. He already wrote down what project he was assigning me. me too. I think I made a pretty good impression just being there and being present. I think that's like the key thing. And my tip right now would just be to follow up and to show up. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. My last tip for the spiel would probably be to be over prepared. I dressed up, I was in my backpack, I looked ready to go. I got my resume here. I read a lot of Dr. Rex's papers beforehand on what kind of research he was doing now. Prepared to answer a couple of questions. I was wondering, he didn't ask any of this, but I know a lot of people who, when they do research, the researcher or the PI would ask you, like, what got you into the field? What do you want to do? What do you want to get out of this research experience? What kind of topics I'm working on that you're also interested in? These are very common questions that they will ask. Dr. Rex didn't really ask me any of it. He already knew what he wanted to assign me to, which is nice because he already has something in mind. He gave me some background papers to read, but it's good to be over prepared and to prepare yourself for like the worst possible situation. And I guess in this case, the worst situation would be just him drilling you question after question, like, why do you want to do this? Like, why do you want to work with me compared to everyone else? You just gotta be prepared to answer hard questions, even though it might not come up. Have your resume ready while you're a medical student or while you're whatever you guys are in right now. But yeah, that's basically it. To sum it all up, you have 3 tips I can give you right now. It's worked for me in high school, it's worked for me in college, it's worked for me now in medical school. A is to reach out, write an email, show interest, let them know who you are. Tip number 2 is to follow up and show up. They want to see that you are actually interested and not just on email, but you're actually physically interested. And number 3 is to be over prepared. They might ask you a lot of questions. They may ask for your resume. They might ask you why you want to work with them as opposed to other researchers or other physicians. They might ask you why you want to do translational research over clinical research. A lot of things that can come up, and the best thing you can do is to be over prepared and just leave a good impression. These are my tips. I'm on a high right now. I didn't expect Dr. Rex to give me something so soon. I thought he would maybe consider me, and then probably a lot of other people that have reached out, but I think I got really fortunate. I got really lucky that things turned out the way they did. But yeah, that was some insight. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. We'll see. But yeah, comment down below any questions that you have. I'll try to answer them. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace.